What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Sheehan Show here on Sherdog.com. My name is Sean Sheehan, joined today by the Welsh Gangster Oban Elliott before his fight on May 31st against Ramiz Brahimaj. Yes. And Oban, you broke the record today. You were the earliest person I've ever had to an interview, so that must be...
really?
Yeah, do you not remember turning up 72 hours too early for the interview?
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, mate. I was fucking all over the shop that day. I set my alarm. I thought, I got an interview at 9 o'clock. Because when I text you to do, can we do 9? I was falling asleep. So I set an alarm. I don't know what I was thinking. I woke up, I was all delirious. I thought I had to leave the house. I was like, where am I going? What am I doing? It's like, fuck, interview. And then I had it completely wrong.
Yeah, I got some shock when I was sitting there about 8 pints deep. I'm ready for the interview. I'm like, wow, what interview?
I wish I was 8 pints deep.
Is that
a while?
A lot of people like, so what are you, 13, 14 days out now? A lot of people are like craving food and different things. Is that what you're craving? What are you craving right now?
Yeah, because I always eat clean. So I always eat clean. So the only thing I really like kind of cut out of my diet, I guess, is the beer on the weekend. Who doesn't like having a beer on the weekend? You know what I mean?
I know. It's the best.
But yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not, when I say I'm craving, I'm not, but yeah, I've been in like a training camp for so long now, it feels like, I'm just in the zone. I don't want to like, yeah, it's just like, it just feels like my life. It doesn't even feel like I've like sacrificed anything, if that makes sense, because everything's just been sacrificed for so long. I don't really notice the difference. It's just fucking eggs, meat, fruit, and rice, and that's it.
Could be worse.
Full sugar fruit punch flavored monsters.
Oh, full sugar.
I have to have the zeros. I have to have the zeros now. That's the only thing I do miss. I'm like,
I prefer the zeros.
Zero.
I don't know. I feel like it's a waste of calories drinking those full sugar ones. The zeros are just as nice.
I love them.
No. Do you? I don't like the black one, the original one. I hate that now. I'm like the white monster or like the peach one is nice as well. But yeah, the zero sugar.
The black one is just goth juice.
What happened?
Can you slip knot as I'm hearing it, as I'm drinking
it? Everyone used to like that before, and I was like, oh no, we tasted a better world than just the black one.
Yeah, you don't have that furry taste in your mouth. And fucking,
it's rotten.
You have like a come down after you're like, when it wears off.
But Monster, if you want to sponsor the show, please. What's not that? Go on.
I was tapping Paolo up for that. Is it Hans Mollenkamp?
Yes, yeah, he's the Monster guy. Yeah, that's him.
He texted me. We did a little video, but I didn't get any. I didn't get anything written in. One day,
me too. The Oban and Shawnee show. We'll get it started. Sponsored by Monster.
We'll get it. Mate. Yeah. We should do it. We should make a show. I want to fucking make a show. We should do a show.
A lot of fighters are kind of starting shows now and doing it. Like, do you feel like when you're like in the middle of your career and like you're only starting the big side of your career, I suppose? Do you feel like you can kind of say everything and do everything? Because it feels like sometimes a lot of lads are like they might only say half what they really want to say. What do you think? Could you?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I've never really operated on a.
That's true.
I've always kind of done these interviews just kind of like I'm on the phone, and then, So I love to have a little show.
Let's do it.
Well, I've got like an unofficial show with MMA Guru. We do a Twitter space every now and then.
I heard about that. Is that legit? Like, is there beef there, or is that
no?
He seems to be everyone's cousin, that lad, is he?
No, there's no beef. It was funny how like we were going back and forth. We never really had a conversation about anything, and he pretended that he had me in a headlock on the rugby pitch, and I like went along with it because everybody was like, "Oh my god, no way!" People actually believed it, and then I said something. Perfect time to introduce the Headlocked podcast coming soon, and people thought it was an actual thing. And then he did a Twitter space. I just joined it, started talking, and told everybody it was the episode 1. And then people thought it was like a serious thing, but I was just on there talking talking out my ass, just winding everybody up, kind of thing. And yeah, to be honest with you, I could probably make it like a regular thing, but I always I just forget to do it.
Yeah, that can be the problem. What do you think of like?
Mm.
What do you think of the talking heads, like people like me and that lad and other people just talking about fire? Because I remember, like, we obviously we've been talking for a long time, but back in the Cage Warriors days, when there were a couple of losses, there was a lot of like, not nasty talk, but like negative talk, and then you win a few fights. Oh, it's all positive, it's all good. Now you're in the UFC, everyone is probably saying, oh, is that something that like you find tough to cope with, or do you even think about?
I'm so glad that I had those losses early on in my career, because I just saw everything for what it was early on, and like matured on the spot with it, and I always knew, even when I did lose a couple of times, I always knew that I could. I had the ability and the skill to be a top fighter, but I just had a couple of problems. Uh, I did. That was just yeah. Once I had all that health, the health issues, it kind of fried my head. If you know what I mean, it made me so like I can't explain it. It made me so like desperate to get there, because it was like, I don't know. I saw it get taken away from me.
Yeah.
And I had to sit there on it every day, and because I love it so much and always wanted to do it, I had to sit on it every day. And then when I eventually got re-cleared, I kind of was like I was just insane. I was like, I gotta do this. And then obviously when I fought Flaminas, and the way I fought was exactly how I felt about everything. I've got to just blast this guy and get this done, because what if it all goes away again? That was kind of how it was. I've got to do this. I've got to get to the UFC. They're talking about the UFC after if I win this, and then I remember just sitting there after that one. I was just like, right, chill the fuck out. I go online, like you say, there's all this bullshit about me, and I was like, well, we'll see, we'll see, you know. And I still kind of think that now on an 8-fight win streak. I'm still like, yeah, we'll see, because I just I don't care at
Mm.
all. I genuinely can't. How can I say? I said, I'll be honest. This is completely honest now. I said to a couple of the boys, I said this the second I stopped, I just stopped caring, and just like kind of just tried to enjoy it all. Was when I started doing well and actually started to enjoy it, and the ball started rolling. I started improving, because every day used to be just like to get to the UFC. Like I had this horrible obsession, and it got toxic in the end.
Mm.
So then I just learned to tame that a little bit. Um, don't fight for people's approval. Fight because I like to fight, and because you know, and train because I like to train. And yeah, I've got to a point now where people actually are seeing what I always knew. And if they thought I was shit before, and they now think I'm this great fighter, then don't worry, join. No problem. I don't hold any grudges, because people like underrated me or whatever, or before any like real success started happening. But if you like me, great. If you don't like me, great, because I don't care either way, because I just do this for me and my family at the end of the day.
That must be very tough to do. And like you said, everyone doubts you except one guy, like of course. But like that,
Yeah, you didn't.
that
You
must
didn't.
that must be very tough to do though, because like it feels like there is like a set way of doing it, and like everyone who's ever had success does it the set way. You go to the road to the UFC, you have your fights in the UFC, you become you become a contender, you become a champion in like
Mm.
you're at a good gym, you have good training, and like you have all of that as well. But the mindset to like just kind of not be caught up in all of that, like. You did that right, and it's garnered
Yeah.
you success. Do you find it hard to stick to that? Because now, like it would be the move now. I suppose would be to do it properly. Let's say the way that is set out. But what garnered you success before was doing it your way.
Yeah. Yeah. And like like not getting caught up in it, like you said, was the real like challenge about everything, because when I did get signed to the UFC, like the Contender Series fight, that was just, it felt like that was the worst day of my life until not till they did this, until Dana called me
Yes.
over, but that was like the worst day of my life. And yeah, getting caught up with it, then I made my debut. That was so tough on my head. I was like, oh my God, I'm finally here. Oh my God, don't fuck this up, kind of thing. And I passed that test, and then I had the fight in Manchester, and I hated the entire of fight week. And I just like fight day, I was a nervous wreck. And I remember just sitting to myself like, what's the point in doing this if you don't enjoy it? I felt like I don't know. I don't know. I was like, my coaches were like, fuck, looking at me like, you all right? You all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm all right. I was trying to figure out. And when I got to the arena, saw all the people in the crowd, I was like, oh, this is what I've always wanted to do. And then that thing I was scared of never appeared, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I'm like, oh, I'm scared, I'm nervous, but like I do the warm up, do the fight, do the walkout, do the fight, and I was like, I literally said to my boss and coach Alex, I said, what the fuck was I worried about? He goes, yeah, exactly. And that day in Manchester, maybe kind of like, then I got the New York fight, Madison Square Garden. Oh my God. And I was so injured before that fight, like insanely, but I just couldn't let that one go. And yeah, that's when I kind of remembered that like lesson I learned with like the fight in Manchester was just to enjoy it and don't get caught up in it, and remember like you enjoy the fight itself. And the nerves or the nerves are from just, I don't know, just it's like it's like this fake thing that haunts all fighters. But if you can just, and that's the hardest bit of it all. That was last year the most difficult bit, and now going into this fight, I've been getting ready. Yeah, I got cleared injury wise at end of January, so I've been in like a full training camp since the end of January, and I got my date May the 31st, and I'm just excited to go out and fucking do the business on it.
Was I know you said you weren't pulling out of the half-fest fight? What were the injuries? Or, like, was it close to having to pull out?
Oh, I didn't want to get an X-ray, but I definitely broke my ribs. And that was a nightmare. And I'd had the same. I always feel.
What was it, Roberto Soldic? Could I ask that question, because that's the most obvious thing to me.
No, it was everything was good by the time I trained with Roberto.
All right, fair enough.
I'd healed. But I had to give myself. I
Yeah.
had to follow the rest. But I had the same injury from the Vowelburn fight to the Preston Parsons.
Yeah.
And the Basel fight, and after the Basel fight, it was cooked. Not, but it was. Why do I get so paranoid about saying what an injury is?
Not sure if it's healed.
It was my. Huh?
If it's healed, it makes no difference. That's the type of one you just have to wait
it's
on.
healed. Yeah. It was my ankle.
All right. So
it
wasn't your ribs, so.
But I guess everyone in the arena saw me in New York getting fucking wheeled out. So
that's true.
But yeah. So that just wasn't getting better, and it was just a process. And it was like, right, I've done them 3 fights. By the grace of God, I got them done, and I'm not going to do myself a disservice by fighting injured again. Just because I won them doesn't mean it's a good idea. So I was like, right, enough, be smart. So yeah, they offered me Jake Matthews in February the 8th then, after I told them I'd be ready to go in March at the absolute best case scenario. They said, Jake Matthews, February the 8th. I was just like, can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as much as I want to, I was like, I was like, oh, you'd be fucking stupid to do that again, because that lightning bolt isn't gonna fucking last forever fighting. No, and everybody's fights injured. Don't get me wrong, but it was fucked. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I forgot your question.
It doesn't matter. Can I actually?
Don't know where we're going.
I've possibly a better question, right? So I did a podcast the other day with this guy who's my friend, another Welshman, Harry Paul, who's he does a lot of jiu-jitsu, and he was doing a jiu-jitsu match recently, and he caught a guy's leg and he broke his leg, right? And we were kind of talking about how he felt after that, and like usually you go into a matchup and you're the one, you're always focused on yourself, but sometimes, like your fight with Basil Hafez, you knocked him out, pretty badly. Is there, like, what's the initial thought after that? You're obviously like overjoyed that you won, but is like, when does it click for you, or does it ever click for you that like, oh shit, like I'm after hurting this guy pretty badly, and it's not just a sport, like it is a sport, but it's also reality. Is that something that ever? I know you're a pretty introspective guy. Like, is that something that ever kind of comes into your head in a situation like that?
Yeah. I messaged him afterwards. I said, not directly afterwards, because when you beat someone, you don't and
yeah, just annoy him.
You don't want to be like over the top. No. I said, maybe it was a couple of days later. I said, like, because we said we'd have a beer after, but we never got to do that. I said, I hope you're all right. You made your family proud. You just fought in MSG, and yeah, it was quite a bad run. I was, but I was prepared. I had dreams every night and day leading up to that fight that he was doing that to me. So
yeah, that's the other.
So
thing.
That's the thing. You're both getting in there to kill each other at the end of the day, and that's what the rest for, is so nobody actually dies. And yeah, I was prepared to go out the same way, so it's not like I felt bad, but I hope Basil's okay. And yeah, just this is the fucking game.
It is, yeah. I think that's very interesting. This is like, it's obviously a bit of a tough question or whatever, but like both of you going in, no, either one of you could be the guy on that side of it, and it's just like sometimes we just watch fights on a Saturday night, and like as you said there, you were struggling with an injury for a couple of months, and it healed and you're back, but like we don't see that part. We see 15 minutes on a Saturday night, but we don't see the 6 months afterwards, or all of that sort of
exhausting.
stuff.
Exhausting.
How exhausting is that? Like,
but
not to be able to train.
It's not a bad life. Like, I can't say it's a bad life. I signed up for it and I love it. But yeah, when injuries are, I'd say, number one, disaster. Nobody wants to be injured. I wouldn't wish injuries on anybody. So yeah, but other than that, we're living the dream. It's tough. Like, you do the training camp. The training camps are as tough as you make them, really. But no, I've had a tough training camp. Because I wanna maximize my potential. I don't wanna I've got nightmares of like maybe not fulfilling it, and every day I try to fulfill it and be the best version of myself every day. Hard fight camp with some of the best guys in the world this time, and yeah, it's a great life. It's a tough life, but it's rewarding. You go in and you fight your heart out with the other guy, and someone's going home disappointed, and the other one's going home like. But like I said, I've said this many times. Like, you don't ride your wins or like sleep on your win. Like Conor McGregor, did he say you sleep on a win, you wake up on a loss?
Well, that's good.
Maybe it was him. And yeah, every win I've had, and I literally said this earlier to Shaky. I said, it's like I'm 8 fights in a row now. It's like every fight, it's been like, this could be the one. Like, be ready for it, And I'm like, okay, I'm prepared for it. It's like I'm sure John Gotti woke up every day and thought, this could be the day I get caught by the cops. But he still fucking put his suit on, and so that's kind of how I feel now.
Yeah,
maybe Ramiz is gonna. He's coming to get me, and so I gotta be fucking. I gotta be ready.
Yeah. Every time Tony Soprano looks up at the door and in the cafe, did the lights go off or did they stay on? That's
it. Yeah. So it's just don't get carried away with your wins, because there's always another guy trying to kill you, and that's
it.
before you know it, then you're on some crazy streak. I'm on a good streak now. So
Not bad. Come here, I want to ask you. You know, you mentioned Shaky there, but we talked about Solid earlier, and obviously you've been training now with Ian Gary as well. Become a bit of a nomad, going around to all different places. How great has that been to be able to do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like when you talk about the life, like finally, I'm kind of seeing the rewards of professional fighting, and I'm not tied down to any sort of job anymore, and I can get and train with guys and test myself and learn. It's been good, and the last few weeks, like you say, I've been training with. I was in Soldich's camp for his fight against Daggy, sparring him like every day. That was so tough, but like the experience I've gained there, like if I can, you see what he does to people, and I'm on the mat with him. I was on the mat with him every day for his camp, and he joined my camp when I was over in Germany last week. So yeah, I love Roberto. He's my brother. Obviously Ian, we did a bit of training, and then he got his fight, and I got my fight, and we couldn't work it out. It was two different styles. Who else? I sparred Nasruddin Imavov the other day, and Baki. And then in UFD, you've got I can't say their names. I can't pronounce their names. All the boys in UFD,
All the boys.
and Hemmer's gym as well. So you got some of the best kickboxers. I think the best strikers in the world. Then you've got boys from Chechnya.
Chechnya.
Chechnya. Yeah, all the Chechnya boys, savages every day, and I kind of checked myself when I was there. I was like, fuck, like where we're from, UK Islands, the same thing. You think of these boys like they're superhuman, like fuck, and I'm there with them, mixing with them, and doing it, and it's like every day I find out a little bit more about myself, and how far I can take this, and I think I can fucking take it all the way.
Are you the guy now in the gym? Obviously, Jack, was for years, the undefeated. He's going to be like the D guy out of the gym, and obviously he's retired now. Do you feel like you've taken up that mantle a little bit? Is that something you ever think about?
I never ever think about that. Yeah, it's a good way to end the question. I don't give that any thought at all. No. Maybe I am. Maybe I don't know. I'm just me. I don't really think of myself in like that.
I have to ask you about pro wrestling. I saw you had a very, very tough match there against Leo Machado Gary the other day. You took a woeful left hand. What was that like?
Leo, he's I love that kid. What a kid. Yeah. Had some good fun. Yeah. Ian, me and Ian is crazy because like we were on Cage Wars together at the same time. Like we were both.
Is he kind of the guy you're looking to? He went the exact same path you want to go. Kind of. Is that are you looking at him being like, I want to do that?
No, because I that would be like comparing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, of course, like what he's done, as many have done, but it's weird. I don't think about that stuff. I just think one fight at a time, and yeah, of course, I want to get into the top 10 and everything like that. But yeah, I look at Ian. I don't know. I feel like I'm very good at like just this is my lane. I'm doing my thing. I'm focusing on my things, and I don't really like compare or like.
Until you be just like me asking you these questions.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah, never thought of that before.
I guess people. Yeah, I just don't think. I honestly, I don't think it's stuff like that. I just kind of look after number one and think about what I can do to stay in this position I'm in. That's all I really think about.
I want to ask you about Raheem, but on the pro wrestling, just again for a second. Like, it feels like a lot of people have kind of talked about pro wrestling and like hinted at. It feels like it's a bit real for you because like you're talking to CM Punk and all, and Triple H, and going over to Germany and down to all these different places to the events. Is there?
Yeah.
Do you think it can happen?
Well, without a doubt, it will happen. Yeah, that's 1,000,000%. That's obviously I'm busy with my UFC career right now, but that's 100% happening at some point in my life, and yeah, I'll be the fucking man over there too.
Would you
So
like? I know they bring in some people for like maybe a couple of weeks or they
yeah,
not full time obviously because you're concentrating the MMA career. Is that the sort of thing maybe a henchman for someone John Cena or someone for a couple of weeks? Something like that?
I'd love to tell you. I'd love to tell you that has the conversations has happened, but they haven't at all. I
Okay.
just spoke to Triple H and I told him what I'd like to do. And
What you tell
he
him?
was like, "Yeah, I just said I'd love to wrestle." I met him for the first time thanks to Punk, and had a nice chat about things, and just very normal, very surreal being in a room
Yeah.
with people like that. But Punk is different now. Like I know him by now, but this fucking being, I was like, whoa. And I just told him what I'd like to do. One day, wrestle for you, wrestle for him, and we just got talking about that, and yeah, that it's basically whenever I want to do that, I can do that. I am 99% sure I can, especially with the UFC and the TKO thing. And I'll 100%, even if I've got to like go the long road with it, like everybody, like all the startups. But I doubt I'd do that after my career. And yeah, I know boys in the business and I could do it, and they've all said the same thing um, regarding me making the switch one day. So it's crazy, it's
Is,
crazy that I'm even saying that now. But
is there anyone in there at the moment you
yeah,
don't like? Like, is there anyone that like you'd like to take their place? Like, teach them a bit of a lesson and. Logan Paul, maybe. Can I
Logan
try?
Paul, Logan
Hey,
Paul.
there you go.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, Logan Paul. Me and Logan Paul would be that would be a good feud. Because that would be good. Logan Paul, he's like my era, and was he 30
Yeah.
or something? So
About that, maybe a little bit less. I'd say possibly.
yeah, Logan Paul.
That'd be fun. Let's do it. Right, we better talk
Whip
about
his
the
ass.
fight coming up. Sure. What you think, Raheem? Did you have
Yeah.
you watched much tape of him? Just do much study on him? What you think?
Yeah. I've seen him fight. He's a good fighter. He's good. Um, he's good everywhere. Um, just a solid, good fighter. Very dangerous. 10 submission wins out of 11. 11 wins. And the other one was a KO. So he's high level guy. Um, and I'm just ready for. I've prepared the best I think I could have to fight him. I'm sure he's prepared well to fight me. Um, so yeah, he's a good fighter. Uh, not looking. Yeah, I probably give him too much respect. You know, like I'm about to. Yeah, I give him the utmost respect in my preparation, and I'm ready to fight to the death with him.
I watched back his last 4 fights. I'm watching the Timber fight and the Court McGee fight where he lost. There was a lot of, I suppose, clinch work and a lot of takedowns against him that ended up being, the winning formula, I suppose, to get it. But for a guy who's, as you just mentioned, 10 submission wins and his 11 wins in his career, is that something like, obviously you're well rounded, you can box or wrestle or whatever you want to do, but is that something that's a bit risky against a guy like that? Or when you see someone else having done it, is it something that you're, obviously you're willing to do it, but when you're putting the tactics together that you're thinking about?
Uh, I'm yeah, I've watched the tape on him. But I can't look at him struggle with a certain, tactic
Mm-hmm.
and assume that he's still bad at it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So I'll call it in the ring, as the wrestlers say.
Yeah.
I'll call it in the ring.
I like
I
that.
see what he's about. I'll figure out my path to victory in there. I'm confident I can do that with just about anybody. So Ramiz is going to be a very good test for me. I'm also going to be a very good test for him. So
If he's looking at tape on
I'll
you,
see.
if he's looking at tape on you, how much is different now than it was in the last couple?
He just he hasn't got a clue. He hasn't got a clue. No.
Is
Yeah,
that
he hasn't got a clue. So just like I don't have a clue about him.
Yeah. But do you kind of learn that from yourself? You're like, well, I'm a lot different now. He might be the exact same. So
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. You could have really worked on something. So like, yeah, there's tape, there's this, there's that. But if you walked into the gym, I'm not going to be like, give me 8 weeks, let me train for you and watch some tape on you. We'll do it there and then. And I'm ready. Like how can I say it? Like I'm giving him the maximum respect. I'm not just going to say like, I'd love to say like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I just think I can. I just think at this point now, I'm just a different fucking beast altogether. And I don't think he's got a chance really. But he obviously does. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
he could, but I just really, and I give my opponents like the absolute, I look at them like kings, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's important. But come on, what haven't I seen? No, I haven't. I'm still early on in my career, but at the same time, I've look at my fights. What haven't I seen? What is they somebody think I can't do? There's not much, I don't think, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll find it out just like you lot, just how good I am. But I was watching the fucking Big George Foreman on Netflix, right?
yeah,
Last night, and this is where I think I'm just a little bit different. And I got this like feeling, this like emotion. I can't explain what it is. I got like emotional watching the 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 scenes, like the fights, the ups and the downs, and it was the same emotion. And you probably think I'm full of shit, and anybody who's saying this probably maybe thinks the same. But it was the same emotion that I got when I was a kid watching Rocky, and I remember this like it's just like an indescribable feeling like I get, and it's like I get fired up kind of thing. And I just had a little moment to myself in my head as I was watching it, and I was like, "You've had whatever this is, this like emotion, this feeling. You've had this before you had any idea what you were doing in fighting." I could almost get emotional thinking about it now because it's not like a upset, it's not happy, it's not sad, it's just like this fucking fire in me. And it's 100% real. I don't know if it's a darkness, I don't know what it is. But I had that when I was in single digits of age. And I had it and I had it and I can't tell you what it is. I just know what this fucking feeling is. I had it then, I have it now. And I just kind of like as I was watching it, I kind of like thought, fuck, you were born with this, you know? And and it's not like I think or this, I just know I've got fucking something in me which maybe we all have it or or we don't. I don't know. But this thing, this feeling that I get, it fucking takes me to places which it just I don't know, it's like it turns me into someone else. I'm just ready to there's absolutely no fucking way I'm gonna let fucking Ramiz beat me next week. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I
yeah.
can like there's just no way. Like he's gonna have to just beat the shit out of me where I have no idea. But if I'm in there and I know what I'm doing and I'm not there's no way. There is absolutely fucking no way. Like we're gonna get locked in the cage. You just have no idea what you're fucking coming up against. I can't explain it, but that's how I feel about it. And it's not feel. It's like that's what I kind of go for on a daily basis. And yeah, I'm finally where I want to be, and I've got this opportunity next week to fucking go and go and perform again, and there's just no way I'm letting this slip through, kind of thing. That's why I said, like, my life and my career, it all kind of happened for a reason, and whatever happens next week is kind of feel like it's already written in a way. And yeah, I'm just ready to go out and fucking do it. Can't explain myself. I felt like I've just rambled there too,
No,
but yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think the word you're looking for is belief. Like some people believe in God, and some people believe in fighting for their family or fighting for their kids, or like
Yeah.
your belief is like an innate belief in yourself and like something that's deep within you, which is probably the healthiest and
Yeah.
most. 'Cause who better
It's
to
like
fight
a
for than
it's like
yourself?
a fucking darkness, mate. I'm telling you now. Like I am like I just yeah. It's like a I don't know what it is. I really, really have no idea, but I just
Do you struggle
maybe
to
all fights have it. Yeah,
do
but
you struggle to harness that, like to just have it a fight night, or do you like? Is it something that like you could be sitting there as you said, watching a film or watching a documentary or something, and like it just comes over you
yeah.
type of thing?
No, no, no. It was like fighting films. Like watching the George Foreman last night. Yeah, it was weird because it's like I don't know, like my life flashed before me, and I thought I was like, fuck, I remember feeling like this watching Rocky when I was a kid, and then yeah, it's like that's when I said to myself, I thought whatever this is in your mind or whatever it is, you've had this for your whole life, isn't there? Was before any training, but before you even had fights, like proper fights, you've had this for your whole life, so it's a belief, and it's like a we all get doubts, like, "Oh, fuck, should I be where I am?"
Of
And
course,
everybody gets them in whatever you're doing in life, but it's like, yeah, fuck, I'm doing it, I'm here, and I'm here for a reason, and whatever it is inside me, I just feel like I was born with it, and I just think next week, like, unless he fucks me up, which and I'll take it like a man, you know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? I'll take it like a man, but how is he gonna fuck me? Like, this is how is he gonna fuck me up? What's he gonna do? What haven't I seen?
Like Kite Burrito kind of fucked you up.
And like I said, you gotta put me in the box and close the fucking lid, or I'll keep getting up like the Undertaker, like,
Old
you know?
Mark, yeah.
Yeah,
We
like, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. And like what he did to me in that second round, like I looked across him, I got up off the stool, I stood like this, and I said, I'm ready to die, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. Looked him straight in the fucking eyes. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. So I genuinely fucking am. There's no two ways about it. And like I said, like I don't do this for. Funny enough, I spoke to my mother just before I spoke to you, and I don't do this for anything else. Like I used to do this for free when I was a kid, and whatever, like every other fighter. But like when it comes to these fights, I am literally ready to fucking die in there. This isn't a competition for me. This isn't like I get to go and be a fucking celebrity for the fight week and all that. I am ready to die. And then when it's all said and done, I love to have fun with the promos and all that. But I feel like doing an interview this close to a fight, you probably caught me at a time where I'm just locked in on a fucking. Trust me, John. I'm ready to kill or be killed. Trust me. So.
Oban, thank you very much for your time. I've taken up enough of it already. I feel like we could talk for about 5 hours, to be honest. But
Oh, easy, mate. Yeah,
yeah,
we could. Yeah. Fuck, how long? Oh, yeah. Fuck, that's flown by. Yeah.
we leave it there because the fight's coming up pretty soon. It's only
Mm,
it's only 11 or 12 days out, and ESPN is
mm.
also a big stage as well. And I'm sure the next one will be even a big one because when you come to 405 and on the UFC, that's where it's going. So thank you very much for the time, Oban. Best of luck.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
We'll
Top
see you
man.
next time. Bye now.
Cheers, mate.